Welcome! My name is Wasting Sanity, and this is my review of ArcheAge. ArcheAge is your typical MMO, with a few twists. One of these twists involve classes. You pick a class at level 1, again at level 5, and then a third class at level 10. The three classes you have picked will determine what your class name will become, and overall skills that will be available to you. Your new class name could be Trickster, Ranger, Defiler, Caretaker, etc. The classes or subclasses that you can choose from will eventually create your overall character are Archery, Shadowplay, Occultism, Witchcraft, Battle Rage, Defense, Oromancy, Sorcery, Songcraft, and Vitalism. Please keep in mind that starting out, you are limited to 5 classes, and the rest open up as your character reaches level 5. Another twist in the game has to do with becoming a pirate. If you become a pirate while in a guild, you will be removed. At least that's what the little banner said down below when I was loading on one of the screens. You will also generate points against you as you commit more crimes. After so many points, your character will be flagged as a criminal. At one point, I actually had a character with over 200 bad guy points, and yet not a single player could actually stop me. My crime spree went on forever. Odd, but apparently once you lose to a player in PvP, you will be put on trial. I am uncertain if there was actually a courtroom involved, but I do know you can join the trial channel or chat no matter where you are. If found guilty, your character will have to spend a certain amount of time in jail. The average was 15 minutes, it seemed, and apparently if you log off, the timer will wait for you. Some claimed you can actually break out of jail. I'm uncertain if this is true. All I know is if you take the pirate route, make sure to stay away from the mainland or you will be arrested. But being that I was a criminal and yet nothing happened to me, I have a feeling if you stay away from PvP zones or just killing players of your own faction, most likely you'll be fine as a thief. I found an issue with the game design that I personally do not like. Labor points, you say? No, not labor points. I understand why they are there. They try to encourage players who are free to play to buy into the game, and they don't want players to actually flood the market with merchandise. The actual problem I ran into was in every new area, you'll be handed a new set of armor and weapons. You do have to run quests, though, but there are no real loot drop upgrades, so there's no chance of you running out to the wild and finding stuff. At level 20 will be your first chance to actually get something from a drop, and this is a level 20 instance. That allows you to deviate from the norm. You will most likely find no upgrade until you reach this point. Only once did I actually find a pre-20 upgrade. Speaking of level 20 instances, to fully complete a level 20 instance quest, or the quest chains, I had to find a level 30 willing to mentor me. It feels odd that this is forced. It felt more forced when the game actually bugged out and hid my quests and only showed the mentor quests. But typically in an MMO, a level 30 would not want to come back and run a level 20 instance. Now I believe that the biggest design flaw of this game, this free-to-play game, is the fact that the auction house does not allow free-to-play players to place items on the auction house, only to put bids on it, to buy items from the auction house. They do have a trade channel, so that way you could shout and yell and all that to try to sell your items if you want to remain free-to-play. Some believe it is okay and others don't agree. Imagine if we applied the same mentality to today's society. That would mean that big corporations would have their franchise stores. Only those willing to purchase the franchise name are allowed to have stores. All the rest are forced to stand on street corners with a cart. Fair? Or, if you don't agree with that, imagine the mom and pop shops, you know, the non-franchise stores, they're not allowed to have websites. A game should not promote in-game spam, and this is basically what will happen. Because you know that players will not stick to just a trade channel. They'll get fed up that they're not getting their products sold, and they're going to start yelling it in the main channels. With that aside, the combat system is fairly solid, but the overall questing through the game feels a bit boring. You run a lot, then you ride a lot. Attempting to do trade quests without being a paid subscriber leads to you trying to hide plants in hopes that the thieves will never find them. Paid subscribers and patrons, have a scarecrow that protects their garden from others looking to pilfer products, and only patrons are allowed houses. Although this game does have an auto attack, which we all know I love, it only really uses it to, well, when you run out of mana or you want to conserve mana. You don't really use it a whole lot. I heard that this game has a great endgame. Now, whether it's true or not, I don't know. There's a lot of boring content between me and fun. How can I possibly talk myself into sticking it out long enough to get to the fun? I don't know. If there was more content and drops where I didn't feel like the game was actually holding my hand, then I would give this game a higher score, maybe around an 8. But since this game reminds me of ESO, Elder Scrolls Online, which I never actually reviewed, I found it extremely boring. I would have to give this game maybe around a 5.5. It is a little above average with the combat system and the character progression, but with all the running around and lack of customization, you know, you can't actually modify more than just the head of the character, and there's no attribute points to be allocated. When you level, there really isn't much that makes me want to stick around for the end game on this title. So because of that, I give this game a 5.5. My name is Wasting Sanity. I want to thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below.